Go for it.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we're here today talking with,
Mohamed Hamza.
yes, we're so lucky to have you here today. We just have a few questions for you to see where you are and how you got to where you are today as a business leader.
Fantastic.
So the first question we have is, who inspires you?
Well, from a business point of view, I'd have to. There's a couple of people actually. I would say from a business growing up in the business, I would say my father really inspired me. But in today's world, with the growth that we're going through, I would say that our CEO is a very, very inspirational person, Chris Nassetta. He really has. He's taken the company leaps and bounds, and I think the learnings that we can take from him are just immense as a business leader.
And just for people watching right now, what is your profession?
So what do you actually do?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a hotelier by trade, by experience. I've been in the industry for nearly 3 decades now.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot. It's been an incredible journey because I've been through both, the operations side, and now I'm in the brand side. So at the moment I am the regional director for brand management with Hilton Worldwide.
Mm-hmm. And how did you get to where you are right now?
Okay, so take a step back, and I started at the very bottom, so to speak. I started off in the kitchens, washing dishes. That was my first official job in the UK. And then from there you just progress through, it's a very experience-based industry, so you progress from role to role as you gain experience, and as you show the desire to progress, then you start to grow in the role and you start to take on different responsibilities. So I started down there and progressed through operations for 10 years until I became the general manager of my first hotel, which was that really was a moment of pride for me. And I think for anybody who gets their first GM role, it really is a lot, means a lot. And then from there, I spent 14 years as a general manager, and then moved into the brand side. It was a completely different type of view of the business.
So would you say moving more into the brand side was a really defining moment for you?
There's been so many of them. I think moving into the brand just brings you into a completely different side of the business, and you see the business through a different lens, completely.
I mean, to get to that point, were there any life-changing decisions you had to make?
Yeah, so I mean, I think every two and a half years, when I look back, every 2.5 years, you have to make a life-changing decision and say, I'm going to go for the next role. And that's, you've got to have the confidence in yourself and your ability to say, I can do the next role. I may not be 100% ready for it, but if I'm 80% ready for it and I can learn the other 20%, then that's what you do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we've now moved, I've moved 13 times, and as a family, we've now moved 7 times. So, it can take its toll on kids and education and schooling, but ultimately it's actually more us as parents than it is the kids that are impacted.
So that must have really been a challenge with you and your family and trying to balance all of that, right?
Yeah, I think the bug bites though.
So did you always want to be in the hotel business, or did it kind of just spring on you?
Yeah, I love that question. Actually, no. I'm a pharmacist by trade.
Very different.
So I did 2 years of pharmacy, University of Pharmacy. Didn't graduate. Long story short, the university days came to an end, and I ended up in a hotel in the UK as what they call a trainee manager. It was basically in the kitchen washing the dishes, but glorified title. And from there just progressed. I fell in love with the business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can speak for many people when I say going to hotels is probably one of the most exciting things ever. I mean, working there, what are the most exciting things?
It's every day. Every day is different. every day. I mean, you wake up with a sense of, what's coming your way today.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different moving parts in a hotel. There's so many different things that you're dealing with. If it's team members, if it's the hotel guests, if it's above property or on property.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different dynamics involved in the hotel that no 2 days are the same. And I know it sounds very cliched, but
Yeah.
it's very, very true that you don't walk into a hotel and have the same experience every single day. We spend a lot of time talking to our guests, a lot of time talking to our team members, making sure that they're happy so that they can deliver the service to the guests, making sure the guests are happy. And it's what a guest sees when they walk into a hotel, which is the shiny lobby and the great rooms that we've got and the amazing experience in food and beverage in the restaurants. And then you go back of house, and that's where the heart of the hotel is. And that's the beating heart of it. And that's what actually makes everything front of house possible. Yeah, so I would say, whilst the guest sees it as 70% as the hotel front of house, we see it as 70% back of the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with all these moving parts and all this variety in your job, what do you find to be the hardest part of what you do?
I don't know if there's anything really hard about it. I mean, sometimes it can be a little bit long days. I would say is probably the biggest challenge you have. It's not your typical 9 to 5 sort of job. It does demand for you to be there in the hotel when the hotel's busy. And when do most people go to hotels? It's in the evenings and it's on the weekends.
Yeah.
So it does have an impact there, but I wouldn't say there's anything hard about it.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned how you've been in this field of work for quite a bit of
Yeah.
time. Where do you think the next 10 years, what do they have in store for you?
So I left operations about 4 years ago,
Uh-huh.
and I joined the brand side, working with a different sort of part of the company and the enterprise. I don't really know where the next 10 years is going to take us, but suffice to say, this is our longest posting now. We've been here for 4.5 years. I really don't know what to answer on that one. I mean, I could turn around and say, well, we want to be the president of the company. And yeah, sure, it's an aspiration. But it's a very difficult thing to answer. We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for speaking
Yeah.
with us today. It was really interesting to see your perspective on everything.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Great talking to you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.